apologize. I know you're struggling for time, but it's an important story to tell, and it'll be telling to what I'm going to talk about. So when I became MD in 2018, first female Botswana to run a diamond mining company, and youngest female, thank you, and youngest female in the world. Here I am with my bold, thank you, with my broad shoulders. I walk into a minister's office, the Minister of Minerals, and I won't say his name, it was a him. And I'm here introducing who I am and the operation that I'm working for. And all this man could focus on was that I'm a female. That's all he could focus on. And I'm trying here to prove myself, and he's just not hearing me. Eventually, this man, I can call him a couple of names, but no, I have my team here, and they're going to kill me if I say those words. So I'm being very polite here, and well, not candid, but very polite. I stand there, and he says, "So where are all the men?" So he's not seeing me. So I say to him, you know, in my organization, the women do the strategic stuff, and the men are in the hole digging to find the diamonds. So on that note, I'm sure you all understand what I'm saying and you've been through it. I'd like to acknowledge the program director, AWIMA Leadership, distinguished guests, the mining executives here, industry partners, government representatives, sponsors and delegates, members of the media, most importantly here, because you're making us look good and you're doing a lot for AWIMA. And most importantly, the exceptional women that we're here to celebrate this evening, and all the sassy women that have CCD. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and where I come from, Dumelang Bagaetsu. It is truly an honor to join you here for this special ceremony, and definitely an honor, Zenzi, as we celebrate AWIMA's 10th anniversary and recognize the outstanding women shaping the future of mining across the continent and across the world. It's not about Africa, it's across the world. And I'm telling you, it's African women that are doing this across the world. So I think this is where we do that. Again, this evening is not just only a celebration, but is also a moment of purpose. Because this event carries a dual meaning. We are recognizing excellence, and we are also raising resources for AWIMA projects that will unlock even more opportunities for the women that are sitting here and the women that come after us, including my passion, the jewelry design, because it's downstream activity from where I come from, the jewelry design competition that speaks so powerfully to the full value chain of mining, from earth to enterprise. We talk about beneficiation. We should be the drivers of beneficiation. Coming back to a saying earlier on, we train a man and we train an individual. We empower a woman or train a woman, we empower an entire nation. And I think this is why we're here. So on behalf of Lucara, Botswana, I want to congratulate AWIMA for 10 years of consistent, courageous work that you're doing, empowering the women and building networks and changing what leadership looks like in African mining. Again, I'd really like to give Zenzi and the team a hand here. And Rema Ben, I think he's left, but it was like he was in my brain. In Setswana, we have a proverb that says, Musadi o tshwara thipa ka fa bogaleng. Bogaleng, okay, I'll mention that and you'll know why I mention it, which is in English it means that women often endure hardship, carry heavy burdens, and make sacrifices, sometimes taking on pain as sharp as a knife's blade, so that others can be okay. So yeah, we're always holding the tip of the knife. Sometimes it cuts, but it's okay. We can handle the pain. That's how we've grown up, right? I can only imagine the kind of hurdles that you have faced, Zenzi and team, the wins you have gone through. But 10 years later, you have become a formidable force. Lucara, Botswana is a proud sponsor of AWIMA Leadership Awards 2026. Because look, at Lucara, Botswana, we understand the importance of partnerships as a catalyst for better and for transformation. Again, it's not about just speaking, It's not about the words. It's actually backing it up by bold intentions and actions. And I think as a company, that's what we do. And thank you for the introduction. I think it showed that. In times of chaos, we rose as a company. Again, because I have great men and women that lead with me, that support me. And I think as a woman, we're generally bold to make statements. And we're also very, very hard on ourselves, and that's why I'm glad the Constitution was designed by a man, because the best person to actually design a maternity policy is a man. Because a woman will say, no, but she can do that in 3 months. A man will go, I don't think so, and then we get 6 months, right? So it's not too bad. This is an investment in women, right? What we're doing here is an investment in women who are not only participating in mining, but leading in it. An investment in the next generation of African decision makers. And I'm specifically talking to women because we are really making a dent at the moment, and a good one, actually. At Lucara, Botswana, we understand that the future of mining will not be defined only by what we extract, but how we extract it and who gets the benefit from it. And that is very important. I've heard that time and time again in the previous discussions or the previous speeches that were made. AWIMA's mission aligns deeply with our values at Lucara, Botswana. Responsible mining, meaningful inclusion, that is so important. You know, as women here, I always use this analogy. We get invited to the party, but never to the dance floor. This is the dance floor, ladies. We are dancing here. Leadership development, and most importantly, community impact. So for us, sponsorship is not a charity, so it was very easy to say yes to Zenzi because we know the impact of the work that she's doing. It is a strategic commitment to the future of African mining, because a future that excludes women is not a future that can succeed at all. This evening is also a proud moment for Botswana. Botswana has been long recognized globally for its responsible approach to mining, and particularly diamonds. The Botswana story is a powerful example of what can happen when a government and the private sector work in partnership. Whenever you hear me speaking, we talk about the government, and I normally say, you know, we are very blessed to have a government that does not frustrate, that facilitates. And that is why I am able, as a private company, 100% owned private company, I'm able to do the groundbreaking things that I can because the government allows me to do that, because they facilitate everything that we do. Generally, thank you. Coming back to the COVID scenario, if it wasn't for our government, I wouldn't be able to have run our operation and sold diamonds and actually sustain jobs for the people in my company if it wasn't for the government. So in Botswana, natural resources are managed with integrity, and mining is used as a tool for national development. I'm sure you've seen that. Responsible diamond mining has transformed Botswana. We are celebrating 60 years, and all the Botswana in the room here, I'm not too sure how many we are here. There we go. There's a couple of hands up there. We are products of our diamond industry because the diamond industry has funded infrastructure, education, healthcare, and opportunities that have impacted generations. We benefit from generational wealth because of the diamond industry. Our diamonds continue to impact the lives of a child, a community, and a nation at large. That's why this ring here, I wear it with pride, because I know what it's done for my country and my people. Again, Lucara, Botswana is proud to be part of this legacy. And just by the way, this is a Lucara, Botswana stone from Botswana. Call me if you need one. I know where to find them. Our operations are built on the principle that mining must deliver long-term value, not only for shareholders, but for the citizens and the communities of our entire country. We are committed to ethical extraction, transparency, and ensuring that mining contributes meaningfully to development. We have changed the landscape of corporate social investment. Over 55 years, the country has benefited from government coffers. With Lucara, Botswana being in industry for 15 years, we have developed an entire village that felt that they were left as a ghost village. We have developed them, and we've ensured that our value chain drives everyone within the village, and everyone actually benefits from the business that we bring as a mining entity. As an example, we don't own any property where we are at our mine. We rent from the people, the local people in Tlakani, so that we empower the individuals in that particular village. So we've grown that village from something like maybe 3,000 people to close to 10,000 to 20,000 people because of the income we've generated in that particular village. And I call it a village. It's not a village anymore. If you go there, we actually have a mall now, just by the way. I think what's important about this is that we are a very conscious miner, a responsible miner, and a sustainable miner. We don't just look at now, we look at the future and the forever. And it's sustainable. We don't just mine and leave a hole behind. We ensure that we leave hope for people within the communities. So we don't leave communities as ghost communities. We leave them with the opportunity of, yes, you've benefited from mining, but how have we diversified the communities around us, which is 19 villages around us? How do we make it sustainable for them that when the mine eventually closes down, they actually have income and they have lives beyond mining? So that's who we are as Lucara, Botswana. We create generational and sustainable wealth for our communities and diversify the communities. We are actually in farming. We are miners, but we have empowered communities to actually farm and create jobs out of those farming projects. Inexpensive projects, but impactful for generations. I think, personally, I understand what it means to carry both responsibility and expectation. I talked about that. I fear women because we have such high expectations. So when I sit here, I'm like, oh, but it's okay. I see that you love me and I love you too, so I think you're not going to judge me. And I also understand that leadership for women in mining is often not just about competence. We talked about beauty earlier on. I'm like, no, it's not about our beauty. It's about the competence. But it goes beyond that because we know we are competent individuals. It's about persistence. It's about proving yourself twice, thrice, 4 times across. I've heard you, ma'am. And then it's about also understanding that we will get a lot of no's along the way. And how do we manage those no's? It's the persistence. I'm on this dance floor and I'm leading the dance. And again, it's about walking into spaces where you may be the only woman and sometimes the only African woman. And I'm going to bring it closer to my religion, the only Muslim woman with a scarf. And you know how and you know how conservative the Muslim men are. Yeah, so it brings a very different dynamic. Being a woman, an African woman, a Muslim woman. Yeah, it's a whole new dynamic. Plus, I get to deal with Jews in the diamond industry. So it's even more dynamic, but they're amazing people, let me tell you. They love me for who I am. And, sometimes it's also about being the first and the youngest, because when I walk into the room, there's a lot of gray beards. And yeah, it's always about proving myself first before I actually bring my... We have a long way to go, that's all I'm saying. But I love what AWIMA has done. It's going to make it shorter for my child, my daughter, and my daughter specifically. It won't take her 17 years to get to the helm. Hopefully it'll take her 4, Zenzi. Yeah? Like I say, the tide is changing, and watch it hard, okay? In Botswana, we are seeing women rising across the mining sector in total. In the engineering field, geology, operations, procurement, safety, community relations, leadership, entrepreneurship. And for those who don't know who I am, I'm a chartered accountant. We don't lead mines, and I'm here. So if I can do it, the non-technicals, you've got this. Okay, you have this. You've got it in a bag. Lucara, Botswana, again, after my promotion, we saw a lot of women coming to the fold, a lot of women coming to the forefold, or should I say to the forefront, specifically because they saw a dream actually materialize. We had such a good problem when we were interviewing for vacant positions. We had so many women coming to the forefront, to the point that I'm now being blamed for employing women. But that's not the case. I'd like to see a brave man apply and get the job, but we have a lot of brave women that are taking it and are taking it on the basis of what they can deliver to the organization. So honestly speaking, I think we have impacted at operational level. We have the first, in Botswana anyways, I'm not talking about the other countries here, the first hydrologist, she's a woman. First female hydrologist at my operation. First check manager, female, at my operation. Homegrown, we believe in promoting internally. If you don't have the competencies or you're not ready, let me not say competencies, you always will, but if you're not ready for the job, we're willing to take the risk. And that's what women do. We take those risks. We nurture, that's who we are as individuals. Mining is very difficult, ma'am. I do agree with you. But we as women, we thrive in difficulty. We actually, if somebody tells you no, oh, really? Watch what I'll do. I'll show you what I can do. And I think that's what we do as women. Women leaders invest back into their communities. We do that really well where we are. We strengthen families. We drive inclusive development. And for me, that is so important because it's sustainable. The standards are raised. I keep talking about it, right? We have such high standards, right? And it's good because we are perfectionists at what we do. I always talk about, when we're going out to get a job and there's a job available, a woman will ask herself 10 times over, am I ready for this job? A man never asks that question. Why do we ask that question? Because we're perfectionists. So if there's imposter syndrome in this room, please get it out. I don't think we need it. Thank you. And I think we bring perspective, or should I say, I know we bring perspective, not I think, which makes organizations safer, stronger, and more sustainable. And that's who we are all about in the mining industry. It's about sustainability. So this evening is necessary because we're not only celebrating AWIMA for a decade of impact, but we're also celebrating women whose stories have and will continue to shape the future. I've said my story, and there's many others, probably worse or even better, I hope. One of those women, and patriotic to my Botswana, is Ada, a fellow Botswana, in fact, sister, child, I don't know. I think I'm older than her, so I'll call her my baby. A fellow Botswana and a finalist for Women in Mining Entrepreneurship Award today. Ada's recognition is not just a personal achievement. It is a national statement that says Botswana is not only producing diamonds, but is producing thought leaders as well. Because Africa's mining future will not be built only by those working inside mines, we said this earlier on, but also by entrepreneurs building solutions around them. That is so important. This evening also reminds us of something important. Progress requires partnership. That is so important. Alone, we'll go somewhere. I can't say fast, we'll go somewhere, but together we'll go further. And that's what always is important when you're looking at partnerships, progressive partnerships, by the way. AWIMA has carried this mission for 10 years, and the next 10 years will require even greater support, stronger networks, and deeper investment, deeper pockets. I heard that there's a space where we can get money soon. So, deeper pockets. So with that, I want to encourage every company represented here, every executive, every sponsor, every partner to consider what it means to truly invest in women in mining and the role that it can play, not only in words, but in deeds as well. If we want an African mining industry that is competitive, credible, and future-ready, we must ensure it reflects the true talent of our continent, an inclusive talent. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we celebrate AWIMA's 10 years of impact. I keep saying this, but I want it to resonate. 10 years is a long time, and I just heard, I think 4 of them were during, it's 6 years, right? 4 of them during COVID or something? Yeah. So it's actually 6 years, and they've done a lot to come to the 10 years. We celebrate the women being recognized for excellence and leadership, and we celebrate inclusivity, where women are not invited into mining as guests, but positioned as architects. I'm going to highlight the word architects. We're all here, and we individually and collectively will shape the future of mining in Africa. Lucara Botswana is honored to stand with AWIMA, and we look forward to continuing this partnership in a way that delivers real outcomes for women, for communities, for Botswana, of course, and for Africa. Congratulations to AWIMA on this incredible milestone. Congratulations to every nominee and finalist. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Ke a leboga.